Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. It's been a while since I've uploaded the video. I've been kind of sick. I got a change coming to the channel hopefully on Tuesday. Monday's a federal holiday, so I don't think it'll be here in the mail in time. It is what it is. It was relatively expensive, but any of the audio problems we've been having with the channel should go away. That's what I'm hoping to accomplish by this. I've bought all the extra stuff I need. It's just the main thing is not here yet. So that's one of the big changes coming to the channel. But I want to talk about this Detroit Pistons game because I'm not gonna lie, this game got kind of chippy at the end. Apparently there was a bunch of things. Miles Turner called Miles Turner some derogatory things and said you play with Legos and all this other stuff. This was an entertaining game. I'm actually kind of annoyed I didn't get to watch it. But Pascal Siakam did his thing, 26 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Miles Turner did go fucking bonkers, though. Miles Turner had 8 3-pointers. He attempted 11 of them bitches. That is uncharacteristic for Miles Turner. Miles Turner usually, barely attempts, 4 or 5 3-pointers a game, okay? The idea that he took 11 in this game was, he was really feeling himself, and it was going in, okay? 28 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. That's fine. We ended up beating Detroit by 11. Tyrese Halliburton had 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 8 assists, and 1 steal and 1 block. Andrew Nembhard had 3 steals, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Shot 4 of 11 from the field and 0 of 3 from 3, but it is what it is. Jarris Walker had a solid game, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 of 5 from the field, 1 steal and 2 blocks. There was a lot of guys who actually didn't play this game. Ben Mathurin was suspended for this one game. And TJ McConnell shot 1 of 7 but had 2 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Thomas Bryant didn't score any points. He shot 0 of 4 from the field, but he did have 6 rebounds. Obi Toppin, 7 points, 5 rebounds. Relatively average game for him. And that's mostly because Aaron Nesmith came back. Aaron Nesmith only played 9 minutes in this game and had 9 points and 1 rebound. I'm assuming Aaron Nesmith is on a limits restriction, but he's coming back to the team at just the right time. Aaron Nesmith is a guy that I think provides a lot of what this team needs. Defense, 3-point shooting. He's even got, I think, a bit of an underrated mid-range jumper. But it's funny because Pistons Twitter went fucking bonkers at the end of this game because of Isaiah Stewart once again. I don't know what to say about Isaiah Stewart, man. He's a guy who I feel like almost essentially gets little to no burn. He's a guy that runs his mouth a lot for a guy who doesn't put a whole lot in the stat sheet. You know what I'm saying? Even in this game, I think he scored 2 points. He didn't have a shit ton of rebounds. I'll give him that. Isaiah Stewart had 13 rebounds in this game, but he had 2 points, 4 assists, had 1 steal, 1 block, 1 turnover, and 3 personal fouls. Cade Cunningham got into the shit at the end. Tim Hardaway Jr. fucking killed us this game at 25 points. Cade Cunningham had 20 points, 9 assists, and 4 rebounds. Shot 7 of 21, which is not very good at all. But it's just the idea, I understand that the Pistons don't like the Pacers, right? Historically, that's always been the case. They're a division rival, right? The malice at the palace is always going to be a thing. But the thing is, my problem with the Pistons is, Isaiah Stewart is always in the middle of shit for whatever it is. You know, he had that moment last year, I think, where he chased LeBron around the fucking court. This dude has anger management problems. I understand he's kind of like their enforcer, but he doesn't really do much to help his case. He's a guy that, like I said, I think he's one of those guys who I think runs his mouth. He can talk the talk, but can't walk the walk, so to speak. I'm glad we won this game. Our next game's against the 76ers, which has got Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey. However, Paul George has been, essentially a non-factor on my fucking fantasy team this year, so I don't even know if he's going to play. But with that being said, the Pistons game was very entertaining, and I like the idea that Nesmith is back. However, the idea that he's still on a minutes restriction tells me that, this ankle injury is maybe a little bit more than we've been led on to be. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Aaron Nesmith. There's still, we're in the middle of trade season. As of 3 days ago, everybody with a January 15th trade deadline restriction in their contract extensions has now expired. So that means officially Obi Toppin can be traded, which opens up a lot of possibilities for the team. I don't really want Obi Toppin to be traded at this point. Obi Toppin has been a really, really solid bench piece for this team. One of the best bench scorers in the league, I think, at this point. With him paired with TJ McConnell and Ben Mathurin now at this point going back to the bench, I really don't know what the front office is planning to do. I get that. I understand why they would want to retain Miles Turner. But at the same time, it's kind of like, do we really want to give up Aaron Nesmith and Obi Toppin to make that happen? I think most people are in the boat of not wanting to do that. Especially if you're going after Cameron Johnson. Like, if you're going after Cameron Johnson, okay, I'll part with Aaron Nesmith. Just because I feel like he's easily replaced in the aggregate at this point. We've been playing well without him up until this point. So I'm not really, like, Aaron Nesmith, he's a good player, but he's not somebody I'm really stressing about losing. I understand why they want to keep Miles Turner, especially after the game he had against Detroit. But I've also thought for a long time that this team should go in another direction. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But really good game against Detroit. Their next game's against Philly. It's funny. Ever since Detroit started off the season hot, it seems like Detroit fans seem to think they're the fucking main character at this point. And not for nothing, but they're 21-20. It's not like they're a world hurter anymore at this point. The Pacers, with this win, moved into 5th place in the Eastern Conference. And Detroit is now 8th. They're 21-20. At this point, Detroit is like a borderline playing team. Even Atlanta, I think even Atlanta's a borderline playing team. Orlando feels like they've fallen off a little bit as well. We're ascending at the right time, and a lot of other teams feel like they're descending at the right time. So that's good for us. Miami has fallen back to 9th place. Philadelphia is in 11th. Brooklyn is in 12th. Brooklyn is actively looking to fucking lose. So, things are looking up for the Pacers, especially, ever since in 2025, I think we're 7-2. And we're also, over the past, I think, 10 games, or in 2025, we've been a top 10 defensive team in the league. Which is great, because there was I was beginning to think we would never get good at defense, and it turns out we're actually playing defense relatively well. There was a couple games ago, not this one, but there's been a couple games, I think it was against Cleveland, one of the games against Cleveland, where I thought we put on like a defensive masterclass, specifically against Donovan Mitchell. We made Donovan Mitchell's life absolute hell in that first game. So things are going well. I'm waiting to see what happens against Philly. But I will say this. The problem with the team ascending at this point in time means that the front office is more inclined to make a trade. That's my biggest issue with this. It's like, I know a lot of people want to keep the team the way it is, and I understand that. But at the same time, like, they did this last year where it's like, okay, like, we're getting hot at the right time. It's time to add another piece. And that's where we got Pascal Siakam. And they've really been looking to add like a third solid wing player. Granted, Cameron Johnson kind of fits the bill for that, even though he's injured all the fucking time. He's really the only wing available. I wouldn't mind trading for Cameron Johnson. It just depends on what the trade package for him looks like. I really don't want to give up Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin is just a guy that I think the Pacers have to, at the very least, try to keep. And while they go into this upcoming offseason, they will run into some salary cap issues. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know that the front office is definitely looking around the market. I will say that. I don't know who's like high on their list and who isn't. It would appear Jarris Walker and Benedict Mathurin remain as untouchable candidates. Even though I think trading Obi Toppin would be devastating to our bench unit. I don't know. Like, I can't even say I understand why they'd trade him, because I don't. Obi Toppin played all 82 games last year, and you're gonna trade him for a guy who on average plays 52. So yeah, sorry, I can't really get behind the Cameron Johnson thing. I actually don't even think Cameron Johnson's going to go to the Pacers at this point. Seems like trade talks have really calmed down between the Nets and the Pacers. I do think OKC or a team like that will maybe get involved in it. Maybe even Golden State or somebody will try to get involved in that. I don't know who, but I'm kind of hoping the Pacers stay away from Cameron Johnson. If you're going to make a splash, dude, at least make a splash for somebody that's a borderline star player. I don't think Cameron Johnson is that. I don't think Cameron Johnson's a star player. I don't think he's a guy that really changes a whole lot for your team either. So tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. Like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.